Coach, last year looking on the field, the results weren't there, but every week I'd hear you talk post-game shows, and it was all about the fight of these players and how much they battled. Numbers were low last year, so you were fighting a lot of uphill battles, but talk about kind of hitting the refresh button this year and kind of what it means to just be back with this group and kind of see what you can do.
Well, it's great. I mean, just the resolve of these guys has been amazing. When you go from we have 22 kids in our program last year to now we're pushing 40 again. And small school sports, you've been doing this long enough, and this is going to be my 26th year here. It's peaks and valleys, right? You gotta fight through some of those times. Sometimes you got Division I and NFL players, and sometimes you got 22 dudes that just fight like heck, and both of them are very satisfying. But it's been good, and this group of seniors has been really, really special right now, and they're taking a lot of leadership. So it's great to see their growth, and our freshmen have done well, and we get some underclassmen back. So it's an exciting time over in Orion.
Yeah, you talk about guys coming back and, the big names coming back. You got Kale Filler at quarterback. You know him pretty well, Coach, I think. And he's got Owen Voorhees to throw to. Talk about not just having the quarterback there, but having a wide receiver, that connection. They work out all the time. I mean, that's got to be huge going into their senior year.
Just had the two of them, and their connection is amazing. But then you're messing out two names, Max Larson, who was really, really, I probably letting the cat out of the bag because he's going to be one of the more talented receivers in the state. Okay. Aaron Moore is also going to be that way. We're looking for that fifth guy, or I guess the fourth guy really, to solidify a lot of stuff. But we feel like those three receivers are really, really talented, and then you put Kale with them, and I think maybe there could be a lot of points scored. Now we got to stop some people, and that's going to be our our number one objective is playing better defense and tackling and doing stuff of that nature. But because we feel like offensively we're okay.
Yeah, I was going to talk about last year. It seemed like you were in games early, offensively going back and forth with some teams, but then maybe you kind of ran out of gas. And a part of that was numbers. Yep. You say numbers are up now. What's kind of the focus this season going in to say, let's stay in games longer and give our offense a chance, give our defense a chance to win a ball game?
Well, I think that's just it. We're not changing any philosophies or doing anything of that nature. Obviously, we're an offensive-driven team, but we are putting a lot of emphasis on getting better defensively. And I know we don't have pads on quite yet, but we are finding ways to tackle. We are finding ways to be physical on defense and really talking all the way through that. Again, we feel like we're okay on the offensive side of the ball, all right? But we get a couple more possessions because our defense holds up, and we're going to be okay. I mean, we're a small team. We have about 2-3 guys that are over 200 pounds, so we're going to have to withstand some things. We think we're fast. We're pretty athletic. We think we can cause some problems. But like you said, if we get into a smash mouth game, that could be tough on us. But I feel comfortable with what we got coming back.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about the offense. I want you to talk about your son. What he's done on the football field the last 3 years is remarkable. His senior year now, obviously we see what happens on the field, but I kind of want you to talk about what's it mean to your team to have that kind of leadership at the quarterback position for year number 4.
I think it's just tremendous. I mean, he's just like having a coach on the field. People spend an hour with the quarterback meetings. Well, I have them every night, and sitting at the dinner table talking, what we need to do here. What am I looking at here? What do you think? Calls protections, calls routes. I don't even know if I have a coach anymore, to be honest with you, except for like when we're sitting at the dinner table. There's only one other kid I've ever coached is a better leader than my son, and that kid's in Pittsburgh. I mean, that's how great he is. I mean, I'll tear up because this is a tough deal because we're coming to an end. This is kind of the final tour, right? And so every little thing that we do here, this might be the last interview I do with him, and I get the chance to talk to you or with you to talk about him. Yeah. And I know it's tough on me, but we're gonna soak this up. And man, I'm just blessed to have him. And he's been around this for 17 years of his life, running out on playoff games when he was a little kid, just all of that stuff. So it's a neat experience to me as a dad and really to me as a coach. I don't know that I'll ever experience this again. So,
I mean, it's been amazing. I remember when I was 8 years old, he'd have me try and diagnose coverages when I'm watching NFL games. So, I mean, learning the game from him, I feel like there's not a greater mind to learn from in the conference. And just learning our offense, and he's put me in a great environment to succeed the last 3 years as a quarterback.
Coming back as a 4-year starter now at the varsity level, talk about how you feel like you've kind of changed or grown up or matured throughout the last 4 years to be the senior quarterback now.
The speed of the game has slowed down a lot since my freshman year. Freshman year I threw about 14 interceptions in 9 games, which is something we can't have. It's now going down. I haven't even reached that in the last 2 years combined. So it's game speed, and then I feel like I've matured physically. I've put on about 50 pounds since coming in as a freshman, so I feel like that's helped out a ton.
How motivated are you now, as we talked about that senior leader, to kind of change the script for Orion football and get back to playoffs, get back to that winning football?
I mean, it would mean the world to me to get this team back into a conference championship team, quarterfinals. I mean, I've grown up around that my whole life. I feel like I know what it takes. I feel like we got a group of guys that can do that, and I think we can all piece it together and just go week by week, be 1-0 every week.
Yeah. Talk about with the numbers growing for the Orion football program. How is the energy? Talk about kind of the energy and the commitment level here with these guys.
There's a lot of excitement in that weight room every day. Everybody wants to work. Everybody knows what we can do. Everybody knows where we should be at. Everybody's committed. Everybody's devoted to this. So I'm excited for this upcoming season.